Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole and today we are talking about the Warhammer 40k Darktide Pre-order Beta and what to expect officially. As you know, I have made a video about this 2 days ago where I basically talked about what to expect from my own perspective, but we have now an official statement by Fat Shark and a few other things they didn't really put into this statement but then mentioned on the Discord, like when does the whole pre-order beta actually start? So let's get through this together. Hello rejects, we are finally closing in on the start of the pre-order beta period and the lead up to the final launch of Warhammer 40k Darktide. Many of you have been with us on this journey, wherever participating in a technical test, closed beta, or just by consistently engaging and providing feedback in the community. For that, we are thankful. Darktide will be a better game because of your help. What we are addressing. Since the closed beta, the team has been working hard to address many, but not all issues. Here's what we fixed, along with a few things we are still working on. New in the beta, improved optimization and performance, and yes, they already have a full rundown on what to expect from performance and what kind of system requirements you need. It's right here. I will actually put the link in the video description if you want to check it out for yourself. It's pretty decent, at least if you want to run it on low settings. If you want to get the full beauty, or well, terror that game is, then you might need a little bit better performance and a little bit better hardware for that. But yeah, as I said, if you want to check out the exact system requirements, I will put it as a link down below in the video description, so make sure to check that out. But back to the other article we just had, and let's have a look at what is going on there. So next, they added a mouse sensitivity. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It was one of the things a lot of people asked for because, man, was the mouse sensitive. Added the ability to turn off wobble for players with motion sickness. Also, thank you for that. Like, I definitely had some moments where I was like, I don't feel well. And I'm not normally somebody who is getting hit by motion sickness. Added the ability to skip the tutorial after the initial character creation. Yes, I hated that. To run through the tutorial over and over again was just not necessary. We're working on adjusting the sensitivity of the chat filter so that you can call out snipers. No longer looks like you are calling your teammates something only Nurgle could love. Please let us know how this is working for you. I have never noticed that, but interesting. We have added the meat grinder to the Morning Star's Psychanium, so you can test your weapons before going into the mission. Just don't shoot the servitors, they're expensive. Yes. This is actually one of the things I really loved about Vermintide 2, that there were some things you could just test out before you could go into battle, and I dearly miss that from the beta of Darktide. So I'm just glad that we are finally getting that and can test out our weapons and can see how it works, because learning your weapon in the middle of the fight, I know this is the Imperium and this is sometimes how it works, but I don't need that necessarily in a game, you know what I mean? So I'm glad about that. We've worked on general connectivity issues so we can constantly stay connected to the games. That is also very nice. It wasn't too bad for me, thankfully, in the beta, but I have seen some other streamers playing this game, and oh boy, it was bad sometimes. So glad that they hopefully fixed it. We've adjusted the difficulty of the cooling mission so it's more in line with the other maps' difficulty levels. Yeah, that thing was crazy. I think it was the hardest map in the beta. It really was. One of the reasons was also it was pretty long. Like you kind of always thought when you did the hacking in the cooling mission, you were done with it. And then the game is like, nah, just kidding. Now the real game begins, right? And a lot of people failed at that. And I'm pretty sure they saw that in the data, where you see like everything is smooth sailing and then the last part is just death, right? So yeah, I actually stopped choosing this mission. Some work has been done to lighten and to help players to see and identify enemies. Yeah, that's a pretty good thing. We have implemented a new HUD, so players can access more transparent information on their teammates, whatever that is supposed to mean. We have increased weapon handling for the veteran sharpshooter starter weapons, so your reject doesn't handle the weapon like only heretic would. I have to admit, it was kind of weird that you were playing a veteran sharpshooter and he basically handled his weapon like a recruit on his first field day, right? So it was a bit weird. We have separated enemy tagging input from the smart tagging wheel so players can more easily tag enemies. Thank you. Madness difficulty has been locked to players until their character reaches level 3. Let's not thin out the Morning Star's ranks too quickly. Reject. Yes. I think a lot of people just did it because of the beta. But it was really telling when you were playing like a super high difficulty and then somebody with the starter weapon and their starter gear was just jumping in and they were level 1 or level 2 and you already knew what that would mean. So, thank you. Players in folk strike teams, aka playing with your friends or people you know from the internet, who have at least unlocked the highest difficulty as one of their party members, the rest can then just utilize it as well, which makes kind of sense. Chaining weapons, specifically push into attacks, should now be smoother. Yes, I think everyone remembers this moment when the game is trying to tell you that in the tutorial mission, right in the training area, where you have to do it like 3 times. This is the one thing which took me the longest. Like, it literally took me 5 to 10 minutes to finish that because it just didn't happen all the time, and it was really infuriating. There's been some fine-tuning on weapon swap, but they depend on the weapon's size and weight. For example, switching between the two-handed chainsword and a bolter will not be immediate. Switching to melee should always be instant, while ranged weapons have a ready-up time. Makes kind of sense. I think that's fair game. Tune some dodges and dodging timings. Yes, please. There were some moments where I was clearly already out of range, but then the system was like, nag, denied. And you still get hit, and it was pretty annoying. Player stun and hit reactions have been tuned to avoid instances where players could be stun locked by riflemen. But remember to take cover. Good. I have not had it happen to myself, but I have seen it in some videos where people were running from cover A to cover B. They got hit by different riflemen one after another, and they couldn't go to cover B. They were basically stun locked at the position and then just died. It was pretty heartbreaking to see. Working on, but not in the beta. We're working on how to best implement an end-of-screen scoreboard that rewards the cooperative behaviors we aim for in Darktide gameplay. Yes, that was definitely one of the things which I noticed, that there was no scoreboards anymore like in Vermintide 1 and 2. And I always assumed this has to do with the more team play nature they try to nourish, instead of this, I am running in front of you all, taking all the kills, and pretend like I'm the best player in the team, even though I left my team alone, and then some special enemies like took my team apart, but I still got the most kills. And it's like, yeah, that doesn't really work. We know walking to the mission board every time was a bit of a workout, so we were working on spawning players returning from a mission closer to the board. Yeah, that's neat. I always found that weird that you just want to jump into the next mission, you don't really have anything going on, and then you have to just run there every time. Weird. We are working on a detailed view of weapon stats. Hallelujah. Thank you for that. Because I made a video about that, even though I should have probably named it differently, because some people were really pissed about how I named it, and they called it like fake news and misinformation, and it was basically just me having a pretty big rant about weapon stats. Yeah. However, it seems like they listened and they will now give us a detailed information what actually means what. And we need that because the game has a lot of stats. And then the game is throwing things at, you are now doing 5.8 parsec more Trinity Trump. What did I do? Oh. What? Right. So I'm glad that they're giving us that. What to expect in the pre-order beta? Let's face it, launching a game is not easy. More often than not, day one issues will prevent many people from jumping right in. We cannot guarantee our launch will be as smooth as an Ogren's forehead. Whatever. But our pre-order beta aims to help optimize the launch experience. We plan on doing this by slowly ramping up our services over the next 2 weeks. In practice, this means that joining us on November 17, you and your friends will pick your class, create your characters, and then close the game. And then dive into 4 missions across 4 zones at several difficulty levels available. We will also give you access to an entirely new zone to explore, Dust. Now, that's not all rejects. You will get the whole experience of our training grounds to familiarize yourself with the game mechanics, 60 plus weapons to choose from, 4 random conditions that will impact your in-game experience, from power outages to worse. And we will increase the number of missions regularly. Here's a high-level rundown. So this is week 1 from the 17th to the 20th, so only 3 days, where we are getting full access to the game hub and mission board, 4 changing missions across 4 zones, and they will run some events, which they're not spoiling here. Week 2, which already starts on the 21st and then runs for 6 days, because now they are doing the whole week. Right, they're starting tomorrow, which is Thursday, and then they are starting on the 21st with the second week, which makes sense. Up to 8 changing missions across the 4 zones, not additional 8 missions, but 8 missions in total. In-game events, other surprise additions we not want to spoil right now. I assume more classes? I assume more subclasses. Yeah, I assume more subclasses. Up to 10 changing missions across 4 zones in week 3, which is only 2 days. That's interesting. Downtime to get the game ready for wide release. This will happen on Tuesday, November 29th at 7 p.m. GMT. That is 1 p.m. EST and 11 a.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m. Central European time. Yep. And then November 30th is the launch. We will have 13 missions across 5 zones, 1 new zone we don't want to share, and new conditions. We will also deploy hotfixes as we carefully monitor the pre-order beta feedback and respond accordingly. Carryover progression. Now, this is a question which has been coming up multiple times. I have already confirmed this in my latest video, where I talked about my experience about what we might see in the pre-order beta, but they are saying this here again. Our goal is to ensure that all progression will carry over from the moment you start playing through full release. But we cannot fully guarantee this at this moment. The reason is that we are still using this period to test our progression system, and we want to reserve the opportunity to change or reset things in the event of something unforeseen or critical happens. But we assure you that we will do our best to ensure all our characters and progression to carry over. Again, I said it before, like that is what they want to do, but you never know when a game-breaking bug strikes. So they don't want to promise it. And it makes sense. So keep that in mind. Now, this is probably what a lot of people have been looking for. You probably also skipped through the video to just get to this point, which is fine. But a lot of people want to know when this game is releasing, at which time. And they have now announced that it will release tomorrow, or well, on Thursday, right? At 7 p.m. Central European Time. That is 6 p.m. UK time and 1 p.m. East Coast time and 11 a.m. Pacific time. They've put that in their Discord. Let me actually just show you that. You know, I can show you that because I'm in the Discord. If I'm finding it quickly enough. It would be pretty awkward if I cannot find it quickly enough. But again, they put it in the general chat. I do not find it in the fast going through this thing. So keep that in mind, but they posted it there. So yeah, you have to unfortunately you have to wait a little bit longer. And oh yeah, there it go. I found it last minute before we are leaving here. There you can see the pre-order beta will go live at 10 a.m. PST, which is 6 p.m. UTC and 7 p.m. Central European Time, or 1 p.m. East Coast Time. Yep, there will not be a pre-download, by the way. So you have to wait till it goes live. Sorry. All right, but with that said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that when you're on your way out to like and subscribe. We will have more guide videos coming up here on the channel. We already have some guides from the closed beta on the channel if you were interested. And I will also start to stream this game starting on Friday. No, not on Thursday. On Friday. Here on the channel on YouTube, because I'm a YouTube streamer. At 1 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Central European time, and that is 8 a.m. East Coast time. With that said, thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you next time, and don't forget, the Emperor protects.